Right, people, so here we are again, Danny Styla. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below. We're going to do a dirt reaction here now with Poetic Flacco and let him break it down, and we'll react as we go along. It says the situation got worse, 1,000 times worse. Wow.
After catching the judges and the prosecutors in a grand conspiracy, now it feels like we get about one of these every week where Lil Durk is requesting his release immediately after catching the judges and the prosecutors in a grand conspiracy. Now it feels like we get about one of these every week where Lil Durk finds something new that he believes warrants his immediate release, okay? This time around may be a little different, and y'all might feel differently. For the last year or so that Lil Durk has been locked up for, he's been confused at the treatment he's been getting at the hands of the judges and the prosecutor. Because Lil Durk understands he's in jail for murder, a murder for hire case. But he's like, the way y'all are treating me, y'all treating me like I'm like a cartel leader. I'm like Al Chapo or something. Or I'm like an international war criminal.
This guy is like an international war criminal. Yo, the guy has been putting more hits out than John Gotti, right? And it's clear and obvious that the guy is like the mastermind behind it all. Like King Von wrecked this guy's life, you know. Like, sorry to say if you love King Von, I like King Von myself, but mate, Durks is probably thinking, why did they ever let that guy in my gang, man? Why did I let him in? Yo.
Things like the prosecutors and the judge recommending that the jury like remains anonymous, meaning like there's like a black veil sheet in front of the jury, like, and nobody can see who they are. Lil Durk and them won't even know who the jury is. It's like an anonymous jury that nobody sees. That only happens in like an international war court or like a court case for like a cartel leader because they have resources to get anybody killed. That usually isn't the case for a rapper. Lil Durk even proposed a bond package with millions of dollars, and that got denied. And usually that gets denied if you're like a danger to society. So
you know, like Flacco's got makeup on. It looks like he's got all types of makeup on to me.
They're listing Lil Durk as that. Well, Lil Durk, after being confused for about a year, finally finds out the real reason why the judge has been treating him as if he's like this war criminal. Lil Durk recently found out that the prosecutors and the judge actually had their own little secret that they was hiding from his defense attorney and him. So apparently they've been receiving death threats from Lil Durk fans or people who claim they're fans of Lil Durk who's calling and threatening people, okay? So February 22nd, 2025, they received 4 threatening voicemails to Judge Donahue, referencing Lil Durk and threatening Judge Donahue and courthouse personnel. February 25th, 3 days later, USMS Context Chambers and USAO FBI opens investigation. SA Karakran, whatever that is, becomes an FBI point of contact and actively investigate the threats. A couple months later, all right, April 28, 2025.
Seems like the Durk fans need to like chill out, man. Otherwise, he's never gonna get out. Probably never gonna get out anyway. You know, that's just my theory.
The U.S. attorney received a threatening call. So the U.S. attorney Yana Laho receives a threatening call with death threats to not only the U.S. attorney, but they also threatening the courthouse and the U.S. attorney office personnel. Now, about 3 days later, May 1st of 2025, the United States Attorney Office obtained a second superseded indictment in this case. May 8th. Now, this is where Lil Durk has a problem with just finding out about these threats. Lil Durk goes in front of a judge May 8th, 2025 for a detention hearing to try to see if he can get released on this bond package. However, Lil Durk stood no chance of getting bond. It didn't matter what Lil Durk would have offered. Lil Durk could have offered $1 billion. They would have kept him there.
Yeah.
Because they've been receiving threats since February 22nd. The FBI got involved to show you like like the level of serious.
Do you believe that Lil Durk is going to get life? Do you think that he's cooked? It seems that he's cooked. They're not doing all this for show. They've lost the case of Young Thug, all that lot. I know they didn't totally lose it, but they've lost a lot of this 98% conviction rate and all that lot, and you know how tough the feds are, and you know, so they've lost a lot of face recently as well. And I'm from the UK, and I can even see that. So wow, so yeah, man. They've got nail
seriousness. They took this. This wasn't just normal. No, there was the FBI got involved. They were actively investigating these threats. So from February 22nd up until May 1st, 7 days before his detention hearing, they were receiving threats. Lil Durk is saying, hold on, I stood no chance because the judge denied releasing me, denied my bond hearing. That's not right. They had no reason to hide it from Lil Durk. The only reason they would hide it from Lil Durk if they believed that Lil Durk was behind those death threats, which they had no reason to believe. But you keep it from him, that means he couldn't even get effective counsel. He couldn't have his attorneys represent him properly because he didn't know what he was facing. He didn't know about these threats. So his bond hearing is getting rejected. It didn't matter what he would have offered, $1 billion, they would have rejected it. So that means, hold on, bro. The judge was prejudiced when she was rejecting my bond package because she was receiving threats. She thought it was serious enough to get the FBI involved. She is under pressure. She has her own biases and prejudices against me. And I didn't know this when I was defending myself and trying to get this bond package.
You should be able to get the content.
Hey, boss, just arrived.
Get the content from Flacco, man. He provides the content. We do the reaction. Yeah, man. Poetic Jala.
June 2nd, 2025, a detention hearing and pre-trial motion hearing on defendant's motion.
When we start earning big tail, we'll pay for premium.
To disclose grand jury transcripts before Judge Fitzgerald. Threats were still undisclosed to defense. Continued detention order ruling pending on motion to disclose. They didn't disclose the grand jury. And you know why? Because the judge believed that Durk was a menace to society and Durk was somebody who was a threat to society, and she feared for the safety of the people in that grand jury.
The dog just came in.
And this could have all been avoided if she would have given Lil Durk the opportunity to defend himself. August 6th and 13th, they requested an anonymous jury. Now, Lil Durk and his defense counsel, they're confused. They're like, bruh, Lil Durk is not Al Chapo. What you mean, anonymous jury? Are you crazy? They still did not disclose the threats. Now, October 1st was the first time Lil Durk and his attorneys heard anything about any threats. It was just a partial disclosure, though. They didn't find out the full thing until recently. October 1st, there was a partial disclosure of threats by the government. The defense makes oral demands for immediate disclosure of all relevant materials and communication about threats. It took about a month or so for them to receive that. And even that was a fight because the judge was even fighting that. They didn't really want to disclose anything or everything, but they finally disclosed it all. And now Lil Durk and his attorney is requesting that everybody gets dismissed from this case. The judge gets dismissed, the U.S. Attorney Office, the prosecutors, they get dismissed.
Everyone.
Lil Durk believes that right now is impossible for him to get a fair shake and a fair chance at trial. That even if he goes through trial, he still got to get sentenced by this judge if he gets found, right? If he gets found guilty. Or even at trial, the judge still has to make a ruling. He believes right now the judge has been permanently marked with prejudice due to her life being threatened. Because now the judge herself is a victim. Durk's like, hold on, bro. If they're victims and they was moving as if they're victims, they call the FBI. The FBI is investigating. They're also victims. They could be witnesses in this case as well. Because if these threats make it a trial, then the judge and the prosecutor, they're witnesses too. So they got to get dismissed. And Lil Durk and his attorneys made their argument on exactly why they should be dismissed in this motion. Lil Durk and his attorney discovered that on top of the undisclosed threats, there were actually ex parte communications between the prosecution team and the bench about these threats. And he believes that the defense counsel was not able to be present when the prosecutors and the judges was having meetings by themselves about Lil Durk. And because of those secret meetings that Durk defense team weren't present for, they will claim that that has irreparably compromised the structural integrity of these proceedings. Lil Durk attorney will argue that the prosecution's 7-month silence deprived Lil Durk of his Fifth and Sixth Amendment right to due process in an impartial tribunal. During this period, defendants unknowingly litigated critical matters, including detention proceedings and pretrial motions, before judicial officers operating under the cloud of undisclosed threats. The attorney would further argue that, if we would have known that this was going on, we would have asked for a recusal like probably before the detention trial, right? Like we would have asked for recusal before we went in front of this judge and put together this bond package and wasted our time to try to get released. We would have did things entirely different. Y'all robbed him of that for the last 7 months. They will say
but he do say innocent until proven guilty. But it's like they're not giving him no space to even get out of the jam. Pardon the pun.
Concealment prevented defendants Lil Durk from seeking recusal, challenging the fairness of proceedings, or making informed strategic decisions. The resultant appearance of partiality amplified by ex parte discussions between the bench and the prosecution about threats directly implicating Lil Durk has created an incurable breach of judicial neutrality that no lesser remedy than full recusal of the Central District breach can cure. And if you're still confused as to what a full recusal will entail, let's break it down. Okay. So they said...
Right, people, that's the content there. Poetic Flacco. Yeah, go and subscribe to his channel if you want the full breakdown and the rest of the video. But yeah, man, that's us reacting to the Durk up to now being in 1000% more trouble. So other than that, subscribe to the channel, like the video and comment below. Thank you for watching, gang. Peace out, YouTube streets.